Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This course is about financial management. Okay. Today, inshallah, I will give you a brief on this course, focusing on the main objective of the financial management, or the main objective of this course, and talk about the textbook and how we are marking the assignment and exams, and finally some regulations related to this course. First of all, in order to see the course plan, you should go to my website, okay, in the IUG. Go to the Masakhat. Then this is our course plan, financial management. The first one is about financial analysis, which is not related to this course, and here is the financial management. In the financial management, I uploaded the course plan and the slides of all chapters. As you see here, all chapters are uploaded in this website. If you go to the course plan, here is our course plan. Just look at here. The financial management course syllabus. The course number, ensure that this is the course number BOOS E3304. And the course leader, it's me, and this is my email, Wael Al-Daya, and this is my email. So if you have any issue, just email me. And aims, prerequisites. It's important to have some principles in microeconomics and accounting as well. As you see, it's highly recommended that students have acknowledge about the principles of macroeconomics and microeconomics, in addition to the statistics and accounting. Aims and description of this book. As you see, this course aims to provide and ensuring understanding of the basic tools and fundamental principles. So the main objective of this book is to have a background of finance. We are not talking about the advanced financial issues. We are talking about the introductory chapters on financial management. In order to draw the big picture of finance, you have to have a foundation in finance. So we will focus on the financial statements, on the financial statement, which includes the income statement, the balance sheet, and the cash flow statement. And we will talk about the stock valuation, the bond valuation, and risk and return, investment management, and the areas around these subjects. In order to achieve these objectives, you have to attend the classes in addition to do some assignments. It's important from the very beginning to select a particular company from the financial markets. You have S&P 500s or FTSE 100s, or from the local markets. Just Google S&P 500 companies or listed companies, or FTSE 100 listed companies, or New York Stock Exchange listed companies, and you should download the data or to read around this company, because our assignment will build on these companies. Also, you can select a particular company from our local market. For instance, you can select company from the Palestine Stock Exchange. Let's say about the Baltil, or you can talk about Bank of Palestine, or Arab Islamic Bank, Badico, BIC, any company which you can get or access their data. So try to think from the very beginning on a particular company, because this is important for your assignments. Then the weeks or the chapters are divided on different weeks. So we have 16 weeks, as you know. In the first week, we will talk about the principles of finance. Okay, why we are studying finance, what is the importance of finance, and what are the main principles of finance. In the second week, we'll talk about firms and financial markets, because trading the securities, the investment tools, it should be traded in the financial market. If you don't have experience or understanding how the financial markets work, it means you may not understand how the investment flow from the surplus unit to the deficit unit. So this is important in this. Week 3, understanding financial statements, as I said, which include the balance sheet, income statement, and the cash flow statements. Here, I'm not asking you to prepare these statements. This is not my objective, is how to understand the components of these statements and the functionality of these statements. Because the difference between finance and other areas or other disciplines in management, let's consider the economics. Finance grows in between economics and accounting. As I said, accounting is recording transactions. The economics is to see the efficiency and the effectiveness of a particular machine, for instance. But finance is to see whether to buy or to sell this machine. So finance is much related to the monetary or financial decisions. In week 6 and 7, we'll talk about the time value of money. Because the $1 today is not equal to the $1 tomorrow, how we can reflect these concepts on our investments. So if you invest 100 today, what is the profitable of the 100 in the future? How much you expect in the future? And this earning should cover the inflation rate. Okay, so we will talk about the time value of money. In week 8 and 9, we'll talk about risk and return. Investors are trading off between risk and return. The higher risk you hold, you are asking for the higher return. And mid-term exam, it will be in week 8. And week 10 and 11, we'll talk about the capital market theory. The capital market theory is try to evaluate different capital securities, including the stocks, including the bonds. And in week 12 and 13, we will talk about the investment decision criteria, how we evaluate the investment alternatives by using many tools, including the internal rate of return, IRR, net present value, MIR, XIRR, XMIRR. We have many payback periods. We have many tools to evaluate our investment projects. In week 14, we will talk about debt valuation. 15, we talk about stock valuation, and 16 is your final exam. Our marking scheme is going like this. Marking scheme in your midterm exam, 30 mark, and we will consider how we can negotiate on this. Midterm exam 30, participation and attendance 10, writing assignment 10, and final exam is 50. So you have 20. Think of them. Some people think these 20s in their pocket. If you are not attending, so you lose 10 marks. Your writing assignment, if you are not writing the assignment properly according to your academic level, now you are in the 4th year or in the 3rd year, it means you should think that you are in the 3rd year. You are not in the secondary school. You are in the university. So try to think how to write a proper assignment, how to think the writing style, the format of your writing, the referencing style, and other areas of writing. And by the way, I will do like workshop like the previous or last year for the students, how to write the assignments. It's important because I try to put my effort in this because it influence on your evaluation. Okay, not just rushing the assignments. I don't like rushing. Just be careful when you are writing the assignment. The assignment reflects that you are in the 3rd or in the 4th year of your degree. And the final exam, 50, okay? About your textbook, it's fine to talk about your textbook. This book, Financial Management, Principles and Applications for Titman, this book, the importance of this book, considering that the people or the students, they have very little experience in economic and accounting. So it's like try to integrate you in economics and accounting step by step. And this is the American style, which is different of the British style, because the British style consider that the student, they have a very solid understanding of accounting and economics. This is why I don't want to, for the last edition of another book, it was built on a very solid background of economic and accounting. So this book just help you to understand the accounting and economics. Okay, so this is the please. For texting phones users is some ethical things in the class. Come on time, please. It's important. Okay, and I will deduct participation points each time I see you texting or using your mobile phone, because I put my mobiles on my bag. So I think you are more important than me. So please be humble and put your mobile on your switch it off. Okay? يعني انا بعتقد انه انتم اهم مني بكثير، فعشان هيك لاني انا مش مهم كثير حطيت الموبايلات في الشنطه. فبليز كونوا متواضعين معايا وحطوا موبايلاتكم switch it off or keep it silent in your bags. Because if I saw you or if I see you texting, it means you are underestimate me. You know this? No. Please leave it off in your bag. Handouts, the handouts. Please print the week's handout. هذا ليش أنا الصبح بديت to see. Print the week's handout before you coming to the class and bring them with you. جيبهم معك. Don't leave it at your mom. Bring it with you. Because sometimes if you don't understand something, you just write on the margin. Okay? Just or sometimes you may asking me some questions, just write the question. And if you have the opportunity to ask this question, you can ask. And please bring scientific calculator with you, as you are not allowed to use your mobiles. You are not allowed to use your mobile calculator in the class or in the exam as well. Yeah, I know some students, they have very luxury mobile phones and they like to keep their mobiles with them. So please, in this time, be away for 1 hour in your mobile phones and don't use it as a calculator. Bring the calculator with you. Okay, so this is what. Any question related to the course plan? Nothing? Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. And we will carry on in chapter 1. Suppliers as students. As I'm treated you nicely during the course, you should treated me nicely at the end of the course by submitted a good assignment. Again, the problem was our students think or thought that their teachers are not reading their assignments, which this is problem. So this is why I deduct 10 marks from the assignments. So it's become 10%, and then this is 50%. We will discuss around this. If you promise me to do a proper assignment, I will do it 20%. If you are happy with this, it's fine. So what do you think? Let's leave it as it is, or 20%? So if 20%, you have to promise me. I'm very careful in reading your assignments. What do you think? 10 or okay? Just raise your hand with 10%.
No, let me discuss first.
Okay, discuss. Yeah. Let's try to convince them.
No, الأول نشوف how is your assignment.
Okay, so leave it as it is. Then we will decide. Okay, that's fine. Do you agree with her?
Yes.
Okay, so we will leave this. We will negotiate this after the midterm exam. Okay, we will discuss this after the midterm exam. If you are happy with my marking, not the midterm marking, I'm talking about the assignment marking. So then we can negotiate or say, okay, so 10%, we can move it to 20%. Okay, so this is good political issues. So ladies understand politics. You are happy with the customer-suppliers relationship? Is a new things to you, or you know about this? You acknowledge about customer-suppliers relationship in terms of strategic management. Okay?
As a teacher and student, as a producer and customer.
We know this. We know this.
As a teacher
But
and a student, it's the first time.
it is the first time, but how comes the relationship between employees and managers?
Yeah, we know it.
Who is the customer and who's the supplier? Yes, think on this way. You and your mom. It could be customer and supplier relationship. So it means is reflecting this understanding in your real life, in your business life, you can provide a proper job. This is why it's called quality management.
Sometimes you are the customer and the supplier
In the same time.
Yes.
Not in the same time. Now me, I'm the supplier. Because I'm supplying the services to you. And now you are the customer. In the exam or assignment, you are the supplier and I am the customer. That's it. So when you are writing your exam, be careful. There is somebody on this universe reading your assignment. You should make them to enjoy in reading your assignment. Not just, okay, this is rubbish, leave it here. Yeah, it's like invite them to read. Sometimes you have a good piece of knowledge on your assignment, but the problem is you have a bad presenting your knowledge. As a quality management, you have to present them nicely and looking after many things when you are presenting things. Okay, now let's talk about the chapter 1. Any comments before starting? Be careful. The textbook is available in Afaq library shop. Okay, so it's available. Okay, let's start by chapter 1. As I said in the introduction of finance, chapter 1 gives you some foundation and principles of finance, and generally answering the question why we are studying finance and what areas that finance covers. This is our starting point. Let's see the slide contents. We have the learning objectives, then the introduction, and the key terms. We will talk about learning objectives, introduction. I will talk about finance, an overview, 3 types of business organizations, the goal of financial manager, the 4 basic principles of finance. So this chapter covers 2 main things. What are our learning objectives? And the introduction, an overview of finance, 3 types of business organizations, such as the sole proprietorship, the partnerships and corporations. Then the goal of the financial manager is maximizing the wealth of shareholders. Then the 4 basic principles of finance, like risk and return. This is one of the principles. Learning objectives. We aim in this chapter to understand the importance of finance in both, in your personal life and in your professional life. So personal life, it means when you are treating people in your personal level. Okay? For instance, if you have $100, how you spend $100 in your personal life. Okay? How you split them. And in your professional life, it means when you are facing investment decisions, how you split them or how you taking decisions regarding these professional. When we talk about professional, a profession aims to generate or to maximize the wealth. But in your personal life is how to fit this money to make the life more comfortable. You don't aim to make a profit. When you are spending your money on foods, it doesn't mean you are generating a profit. Okay? So it's what's how much you spend on foods, how much you spend in tourists, how much you spend in this, is like how to structure you or divide your business, your money. And professional lives, and identify the three primary business decisions, how to get the funds, how to invest the funds, and how to fund this. We will go back to this point. Identify the key differences between three major legal forms of business. What is the difference between the sole trader, the partnerships, and the corporations? And you should give me examples on these forms. Understand the role of the financial manager. If you are a financial manager, what are the main functions and what are the main objectives of financial manager? Then explain the 4 principles of finance. Can you give me examples of financial decisions faced in your corporations? Okay. In this introduction, you should know financial decisions. Just this is like ice-break question, just to see to what extent you understand finance. Can you give me examples of any financial decision in your personal life or in your professional life? Can you give me any example? Yeah. Okay. So if you want to buy a car, you have just only one alternative to buy a car or to not buying a car. Okay. So these are investment alternatives. You have 2 alternatives: is buying a car or not buying a car. This is a financial decision. Is similar to buying a machine or not buying a machine. Or it's similar to buying a machine to produce the products or hiring people to produce the product. So you have machined products or you have handmade products. So it's like alternative decisions.
For example, my pocket money.
Yes. Is this professional or personal?
Personal.
Okay.
How I spend it, or I keep it, or spend it,
Okay.
maximize it, or
So this is the personal decision. What other?
If someone wants to buy a land or he wants to invest the money and
Okay, buying a land or buying a real estate, or for instance, starting a business, or investing his money in this, or okay, it means you are focusing on one type of decision. It's like how to invest or where to invest.
it will specify a budget for new raw material from outside.
Okay, it's like budgeting.
It will specify the budget for the training the employees.
Yes, yeah. This is financial decision. If you don't have a money, yeah, carry on.
if I want more money for my project, I will take a loan from the
Yes. So it's like fund. How to get money or how to get fund from the other alternatives. It's like you are talking some students asking or saying the other alternatives that's available to the person to invest. As you said, you asking from where you get the fund, from the equity, from the liabilities, and so on. Okay, so these are some examples on financial decisions. And let's start by financial overview. What is finance? What is finance? Try to read this. and figure out what is the underline or what exactly means finance. Take 1 to 2 minutes. Okay? So what is finance? You have just only 2 lines or 2.5 lines, but to understand this, it needs hard work. Yeah.
It's the study that is meant to raise capital to fund things.
Okay, you're starting by raising capital. Okay, raising capital. Okay, let's ask you a question. Why you are raising capital? For what? Raising capital. Why? We are getting money. Why we need the money? We are starting by raising capital or something else? Okay, this is the goal of business. You're right. But okay.
To increase our market share.
This again, as she said, this is the goals, but not the finance. This is the goal or the objective of finance. Yes, you are right if we talk about what are our objectives. But what exactly finance? Because doing this, understanding this, generates profit as you said, and improve the market shares as you said. You are right. But we should start by investments. So why we are raising capital? Because the first one, we have investment alternatives. So because we have investment alternatives, we raise capital. So it doesn't mean that, okay, we raise capital for what? For nothing? No, because we have investment alternatives. So investment alternatives, for instance, if we have A, B, and C, these are alternatives. To invest our money in A, or in B, or in C, you should decide from the financial perspective whether to invest in A, B, or C. For instance, the marketing department decides to improve the sales. It's fine. What are the alternatives of doing this? For instance, first alternative is hiring a new salespeople. The second alternative is doing a campaign. The third alternative is like motivating the stores. So we have 3 alternatives. Now these alternatives are going to the finance. The financial department have the final say. Because at the end of the day, you pay the money to these projects. So we have 3 alternatives, A, B, or C. We evaluate them. As you see here, how people and business evaluate investments. We evaluate these opportunities, and we may go through B. If we decide on B, we need a capital. And be careful. When we are saying capital, it doesn't mean money. Capital is not money. Why? Because from the accounting perspective, and as I said before, this is the T account. Here the current assets, here current liabilities, and here is equity and liabilities, and here the fixed assets. This area, the bottom one, is the capital. This area here is the capital budget. Don't forget this. And this area is the capital structure. Okay? This area is on your left side is the budgeting, and this area is the structure of capital. The structure of capital, it means whether to depend upon or depend on the equity or depend on debts. So again, and raise capital, raise which area? This area or this area? This one. We are talking about this area. From where we get the capital? Depend on issue shares or lending money from banks? You should decide. To fund them, be careful, to fund them. What it means to fund them refer to what? To investments. Where is the investment in this T account? Yalla. Where is the investment? Investment is here, or here, or here, or here. Where is the investment? Current assets. Okay. In liabilities. Do you think liabilities are investment? No. So where is investment? Fixed assets. So this area is investment. You see? So finance is not like accounting. Because I think you are the first time subject to these issues in finance. I know you know the components of the current asset and the component of the fixed asset and the other areas of accounting, but is how to manage this. To understand the functions of each component, it needs some understanding, some knowledge in finance. So this area is the capital structure, is from where the fund is coming, and this area, how to invest or where to invest our fund. We invest our funds in fixed assets, or we invest our funds in some copyright things and other things. So you see, these very little lines give me a broad picture of what is finance. In order to understand what is finance, you should know about the investment appraisal or the investment opportunities, and we have thousands of opportunities available in our life. Then the second thing is to know how to raise this capital. You have many alternatives as well. Then how to use this. As you know, from accounting point of view, you know this is source of fund and you know this is use of funds. Is it right? This is source of funds and this is use of funds. The source of funds is from where the fund is coming, and here where the fund is going. We bring it from here and spend in here. Okay? So from the investment point of view, this area is in charge in generating profits. This area, this is why it's called investment. This area is not in charge in generating profits, because the machines here, sitting in here, is in charge in producing goods and services. If these machines fail to produce things, it means we cannot generate sales, and sales cannot produce cash, and then we don't have profits. You see this story, long story? Just from the very little picture. If you put in your minds this understanding of business, how finance is like a salt, is in everywhere. Because it's like raising a stop for everyone. Because if you don't have a very investment evaluations for your business, the financial manager is sitting, okay, please sit down, give me a profitable investment alternative. Because everything going to the financial department, and financial department, as I say to you, have the final say. Okay? So be careful when you are dealing with the financial people, because they think in different ways. Okay? The 3 questions should be addressed by the study of finance. It's missing now. So now I think you know why we are studying finance. Why? Anyone summarize why we are studying finance? The previous slide. Why we are studying finance? Yes? Investment, raise capital, and to fund this capital, to fund the investment. Them is going back to the investment, refer to the investment. Now, 3 questions addressed by the study of finance. The first one, what long-term investment should the firm undertake? Okay, let me hide this. Where is the long-term investment here? In which quarter? Is in here. So we have to think on the long-term investment decision. Because invest in the fixed asset needs long-term decision. Okay? Invest, I think one of the students said, the current asset is investment. Yes, right, but this short-term investment. Okay, short-term investment. So when we talk about the long-term investments, okay, is we should address this question during our studying of finance. At the end of this course, we should ask ourselves this question. What are the long-term decisions that we should take in order to maximize our wealth? And this known capital budgeting decisions. You remember when I write capital budgeting? Yes. You remember this? Just to try to complete the picture. See the full picture. Okay? Put the components of this picture together. This is capital budgeting, this is decisions. And the second, how should the firm fund these investments? You remember the previous slide. This slide is related to it's like you are narrating a story. And each part of the story is connected with the previous one and the second one. If you miss one part of the story, so it means misunderstanding. Okay? It's like mathematics. This is why some business students don't like to study finance, because everything is linked to the one next and the one previous. Well, I think this is very simple. You just follow up. How should the firm fund these investments? Yeah, how we can fund this? From here, from the capital. So this is the capital. What is in $1 million? What is, and you think in different alternatives. Suppose you have $1 million to invest in this $1 million in your pockets. All of them? No. She said absolutely yes. No. Absolutely no. Okay, so how? How you invest? The project costs you $1 million, and you already have $1 million. To invest in $1 million or what?
I just have them.
Yes, you have. You don't have. Okay, let's open your mind to other things. If you have $1 million in your pocket, it's fine. You can start up by $500,000, and you can lend $500,000 from the bank. Yes. And the rest, $500,000, you can open a new project. So you end up with 2 projects. But the problem is, if you fail to generate, your projects fail to generate cash to cover the debts, you will be at risk. It's like a trade-off between risk and return. Other people saying, no, we shouldn't depend on 1 million. We can take loan by 1 million. It means you are asking for higher risk. And in the same vein, you are asking for the higher return, because you are keeping your $1 million and you are lending $1 million from the other sources. So these are the investment alternatives you are saying. The more keen people, the geek people, is thinking in different ways. Not just because I have $100, it means I should spend the $100 in this investment. No, suppose You don't have $1 million, you have $0. Can you start up the business? Yes, you still start the business. The majority of people starting their business with zero budget. Just take the risk. I invite you to take the risk in your life. Because taking the risk is giving you opportunity to be strong. But relaxing is giving you opportunity to be behind. Okay, so let's stop in this point. In the second one, how should the firm fund these investments? Okay, نقف لعند اللحظة هذه. كيف المستوى المادة كويس ولا صعب سهل؟ حتى الآن سهل. تفضل. خاتمة ايش اقول لك يعني؟ اوكي. خلاص. طيب احنا we stop in the second point. Okay. And in the next meeting we will talk about the why study finance. So in the first one we talk about what finance, and then in the next meeting we will talk why study finance, and we will ask about different organizations forms. So prepare yourself in reading the first chapter, because maybe the second two meetings we will finish this chapter. Okay, thank you very much and take care.